Hey, what's up everybody, it's Bald Guy Ace, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to build an Iron Golem spawner farm. Before I get into the video, I just want to congratulate the winner of last video's giveaway. Your name is on the screen right there, and anyone watching this video, you can enter to win $10 million in-game money on Arkham Network's Skyblock 1 server by putting your in-game name in the comments below, along with any other comment you want to leave, and you will find out if you win in my next video. So, right into the tutorial. Basically, when I first started Arkham Network on their Skyblock server, the first thing I did was build an Iron Golem farm. When I did that, I actually recorded the entire process of building it into a bunch of different videos. It's way too long to show in one YouTube video, so what I'm going to do today is actually go through those videos and just show you the important parts so that you know how to build an Iron Golem spawner farm from start to finish exactly the way that I have mine, so that you can build one and make a ton of money in whatever server you're playing on. Almost everything I show today will work for you. There may be little variations and differences depending on what server you play on. I play on Arkham Network Skyblock's server, and so it'll definitely work there, but it should work on any server that you play on. So I'm gonna get right into it now. This is the entire farm finished. As you see here, I have the Iron Golems spawners on the top there. They drop into the lava here. They go into a water that then takes them into hoppers. The hoppers then drain into all these chests right here. So some quick measurements before I go right into the videos and show you the step-by-step how to do it, is that the entire height of this farm from the first chest down here all the way up to the ceiling of the spawner area here, so not the party room here, but the ceiling of the spawner area right here, is 51 blocks high. So it's 51 blocks from the first chest to the top right here, this ceiling block. If you don't get it exact, that's okay, because there's a lot of leeway here in case you're off by 1 or 2 blocks. But that's the height, and the width is 33 blocks. So if you start counting from here, this is 1, then there's 31 chests in the middle here, and then you get over to here, and this is 33. Then the other dimensions going from front to back, and the longest part of this is the spawner area itself. From front to back, that is 28 blocks. So if you count here, which is really the beginning of it, I double layered it, but that's unnecessary for this video. That's just something I did for looks. So the single layer measurements is 28 blocks from front to back. So this is 1, and then if you count it here, this is 28 here, which is a single block wall. Once again, if you're off by a little bit, that's okay, but it's better to be exact on this. You want it to be 28 blocks, because that allows you to have maximum flow inside of the spawner area. But it's okay if you're off by a little bit. You'll still be able to make it work. And as far as the amount of chests, I used exactly 24 layers of chests. So if you start here and count this as 1, it goes all the way down to 24 down here. As you see here, they're staggered, but there's 24 of them from the bottom to the top here. One other thing you need to know before we go into the videos is that the chests themselves are placed on blocks 17, 18, and 19 from the front. So wherever you built your first block here, when you're counting the width, which is when you're counting the front to back, which is 28 blocks, wherever the beginning of your farm is. So if it's here, then you want to go down from here to the bottom here and start counting from wherever that is, 17 blocks in. When you get to 17 blocks, you want to place this block of your chest, then the next block, and then this is where the hoppers would go. So that's where they go, and it is kind of important that you get that right, but if you're off by a little bit, that's another thing you can change at the end to make it work. But it's generally good to get this right at the beginning, just to make it easier. So it's 17, 18, and 19 from the front. Alright, now let's get right into the videos. Okay, so what you want to do now is place your chests. This video starts higher up, but you're doing the same thing all the way up, so it doesn't make a difference what you're seeing here. You want to do this for all 24 layers. And what I'm doing is I'm using chests and trap chests, because you can't put chests right next to other chests. So what you want to do is use chests and then alternate. So you do 1 double chest, one trap chest, 1 double chest, 1 trap chest. As you see, that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing this all the way down the layer, and there's 31 chests at a time in the farm that I built. So you see, as you see here, he's alternating between chest, and trap chest. You do that until you get all 24 layers built, and then we'll go to the next video. Okay, so after you have all 24 layers of chests on top of each other, what you want to start doing is notching out the chests every other row so that you can put hoppers inside them. This allows the iron to flow straight down into your profit shop. The chests that you're actually going to use for your profit shop or for your sky cell signs, you want to actually not have notched. So those you will actually leave the way you just placed them. You don't want to notch those. That way iron will continue to will fill up one chest and go into the next chest when it's filled up. But the part that you don't want to use as your profit shop or your sky cell signs, you do want to notch. That will allow the iron to flow all the way down into whatever you are going to use for your shop. So we'll go ahead and notch out every other layer here. I'm not going to show you all that. You get the gist of it. You can kind of land there and hold shift. It kind of makes it easier to chop. And then once that layer's done, you just go to the next layer. You go every other layer though. You see the way that it's going here? And so after all those layers are notched out, then you want to go and place hoppers and extend the chests out, which I'm going to show you right now. So now that all the chests are notched out, you can ignore the hoppers that are already placed. But what it would look like is this part for you. You would have double chest and a single chest, double chest, single chest. This would be all the way down until the part that you want to use as your profit shop, which would already still have double chests sitting directly on top of each other. Then what you want to do is fly down to the beginning of each row. So then what you want to do is actually place the chests on the other side of where you notched it out. That way you have a staggered set of chests. Once again, you only want to do this on the part that isn't going to be used as a profit shop. You want this to be on the part that has the iron flow down. And so you want to do the same thing. You want to start with chest and then trap chest and just alternate it. And you can just go straight down the thing here like this. As you see here, I'm placing it. And then once I got one placed, it's a lot easier. I just back up. And I usually hold shift so I don't fall off the edge. And I go chest, then trap chest all the way down. I'll do that, and then after I do that, I'll fly up, and I'll go and do it again on another row. As you see, I'll fast forward this video a little bit. See, I just go right back to the beginning, and I leave a space for the hoppers, because it's going to be staggered with hoppers, and then I do it again. You can tell which one you want to do it on, because it's the one where the chest is single, because you want to make all the chests double. So you do that again on every other row, and then after that, you end up with all of the rows notched out, but now you have double chests. After you have double chests on all of them, what you do is you go into the hole and you place the hoppers. And so you just do that right down the row. What I'm doing here is I'm standing kind of on the edge, holding shift, because that's just the easiest way to do it. And then going down and placing the hoppers against all of the chests. Now I do that for all the rows. I do it on this side. And I also do it on the other side. That way it falls into one chest and then falls into the next chest and so on. I'll fast forward a little bit. As you see here, this is sort of what it looks like from the outside, and then I go to the other side, the other row, and I do the same thing over there. I hold shift and I go down and I start there and I just go right down the row. And I do this until the entire farm is filled with hoppers up until the 24th layer. Alright, so after you have all the hoppers placed, as you see here, it looks like every single notched out area is filled out with a hopper, except for the areas that you want to use as your profit shop at the bottom. Those will still be on top of each other with the hoppers straight out on the edge. They won't be notched. And then what I did here is I have another row that I'm placing of hoppers all going one direction above the first row of hoppers that are going into these chests here. The reason I'm putting hoppers all going one direction is so that if the chests fill up in one whole row, the iron will just continuously move down and go into the next row, whatever row is empty. So I'm building one row going all the way out like this. By the way, I started this row by putting a block at the end so that way I could point the hopper going up. As you see my mouse here, it's going up. They're all going out against each other. And after that, you want to put another row on top of this, which I'll fast forward through here so I can show you. So this is the first row, and then see, it's all going that one direction. And then what you want to do is have another row on top of that, which I'm going to do right here. I'm just using that to get the direction correct. I'm going to get rid of those chests after this. And then I'm pointing this in the opposite direction of the entire row below it. That way, what happens is the iron drops into these, it starts going one direction. If any of the rows are not full, it'll just drop right down. If the rows are full, I mean, if the columns are full, if the columns are full, it'll continue. If it's not full, the columns, it'll go straight down. If the columns are full, however, it will go to the next column and try to go down there. If it gets all the way to the end, it'll then fall down and go the opposite direction. So basically, by doing those two rows going two different directions like that, you're able to ensure that no column gets full and then completely jams the hopper system. So that's basically what that's doing. You want one go in one direction, one go in the other direction. So after you build that, you want hoppers going back 8 spots from this last row here. So it's 9 total. It's like a 9 square area of hoppers, basically. 9 by 31. The reason why you're doing this is so that the iron can flow. I'll fast forward this and show you what I mean here. So, and all these hoppers are pointing toward the row that we just built. Everything is going to point toward that row, as you see here. See, I have that going there, and now I'm going to build it out even further. So here, I built myself some cobble just so that I have something to stand on when I'm building out these hoppers. But what you see I'm doing here, I'm going 8 out from that last row. So it's 9 total hoppers. This is not totally necessary. You could just have the water flow into the last hopper, but just to have the system not be clogged, I chose to build a ton of hoppers like this. So you have 9 hoppers. Every hopper is going toward the hoppers that are on top of the chests. They're all going that direction. And I'm just doing that all the way down. And I just keep going down. I'll fast forward this video. And I just keep doing this. I'll show you the finished product here. So after you have all of the 9 hoppers there built, which is 1 row there and then 8 hoppers going into it, this is what it looks like basically. So now you have those all built, and now what you want to do is start building the border. So you can start building the border here. This is the border that's going to be around your area that the iron falls into. You're just basically building a area right around the hoppers here. And I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. So you got the area going all the way around the hoppers. You have it going around in every direction here. So you have, this is the 9 hoppers as you see here. And you have wood going all around them. Then what I did here is started building the glass that allows the iron to sneak through. What you want to leave here, as you see here, this is the 2 spots that you were going to have the lava on top of. So you have these 2 hoppers. Then you have a glass barrier which has 1 space right there between the glass and the hopper there. Just 1 block area. There's going to be water that's going to flow here, and it's going to get all of the iron that fell after the Iron Golem spawners die from the lava. You'll see right now where we're going to build it, but I just wanted to let you know what's happening here. So you're building out just 1 glass area right there. And now I'm building the glass border on the other side. Well, first I'll build the wood, and now I'll build the glass. It doesn't actually have to be glass, by the way. I'm just building glass because then you can see through it, which is always nice. But you could just build it with all wood if you want to. And so then I build that out, and I'll show you what it looks like here. I'm basically just fast forwarding through this. You want to build up 8 spots. As you see here, I'm using a grid system. You can get to this grid system by hitting F3 and then holding F3 and hitting G. That will put this grid system up, and then you can just hold F3 and hit G again to have the grid system go away. Each one of these little grids is 2 blocks width. That way you can kind of see a measurement of what you're doing when you're building. So this is 8 blocks high from the bottom. It doesn't actually have to be entirely 8 blocks. You could probably get away with 6. But it's 8 blocks high. That's just the way I built it. And I'm just building the wood now, the wood barrier going down. I'll fast forward through this. Oh, I actually built more glass there. That's okay. You can use wood or glass. It doesn't matter. So as you see here, this is the border here on the very edge of your Iron Golem farm. And then the other is where it falls off the edge and falls into these hoppers and then flows underneath here to the hoppers down here. But you'll see this more in a second. I'm going to fast forward this. Now you're building up the borders around the hopper area here. You're just building wood. Once again, you can build glass or wood on this. It doesn't really matter. I chose to do one layer of wood and then the rest glass. And let me fast forward here. So now what you want to do is come back to this area in the back of your farm here. This is in the back of your farm. These are not above the chest. These are the hoppers that are away from the chests. And you want to start putting signs up one layer above. So this is 2 blocks up. So it's not in the very bottom block, but 1 block above that, you want to put signs up. So I'm making signs here, and then I'm putting them, this is on the second block from the bottom here. So there's 1 block without a sign, and then this second row has signs, and you're going to build the signs all the way down. It's just blank signs, and then I'm just building up the wall here. Once again, it goes 8 blocks up. I'm just building it up because what I'm going to do now that I have signs, is I'm going to put lava down there. But first I'm building up this area by putting wood here. I'm going to put wood there, and then I'm going to put glass around the border. As you see here, I'll fast forward. See, I'm building it up by putting glass. Once again, it's 8 blocks up from these hoppers. I'm just building an area. This is in the back of the farm, by the way, the back of the farm. I'm going through and doing this. I'm just fast forwarding through the video. All right, so now I got my lava. I bought a whole bunch of lava buckets, and I'm putting it right above the signs. I'm clicking the side of the wall. You see here, I'm clicking the glass, not the sign, because that's not going to work. You want to click above the sign. So you want to click the space above the sign. The sign is preventing the lava from falling down below. See, I just landed below, and I'm below the lava. So what you want to do is put 1 layer of lava on every block here. So you want to go down here, and so you're basically going to need 62 lava buckets. You probably don't need to use every single lava bucket. You probably don't have to put lava on every single square, but I just did it just to be safe. So what you do is I just went down and I clicked on the glass right above the sign, and I just went right down the edge here. And I put 1 there, and 1 there, and then I'm going to fast forward this, and I just went all the way down. When I first did it, I actually did 2 layers of lava, but that's not necessary. You only need 1 layer of lava. So I ended up getting rid of that second layer of lava and only having 1 layer. But what I did is I put it on both sides all the way down like this. I'm just clicking the edge of the glass. Because the signs are right below it, it's not falling below the signs. All right, so then you get the lava there. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. See, I'm below the lava because the signs are there. The lava doesn't fall. So then what you want to do is actually get buckets of water. And then you place the water on the bottom here. I'll show you that in a second here if I'm going to fast forward the video and see where I buy that. All right, so I do the same thing now with water. I have the water buckets here. I bought water buckets, and I click the glass here with the water bucket, and I drop it, and I'm going all the way down and doing it on one on each block here. And when I do that, eventually when it's all placed, the water will all flow straight back into the hoppers, which is what I want. It'll go underneath that 1 block area of space that I left, and what this is doing is going to take the iron that comes when the iron golems die in the lava, and it'll take it and flow through those hoppers right to the hoppers that are right above the chests. The hoppers that are below this water are just an extra safety precaution to make sure that if the iron doesn't make it all the way down, it'll still get into hoppers here, and the hoppers will naturally flow the iron all the way down on its own, even without the water. But the water helps by quickly having the iron travel down to the chests. So I just go all the way down, I do this, and then once that is done, I'll fast forward a tiny bit here. See, now that all the water is placed, it just goes straight down. Anything that falls here will go straight underneath this 1 block area that I didn't put a block down, and it'll go all the way to the beginning of the hoppers that are right over the chests. So now you have that all there. Now all you got to do is build the top part of the farm and place the iron spawners. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to fast forward this. You see, this is just the water flowing. So right here, what you want to do is you can start by doing the outline of the farm. And the farm itself has 8 by it's 8 basically, and that's how long the water takes to flow. So before it falls off into the lava, you have 8, and then you go up 1, and then you go 8 back again, and then you go up 1 and you go 8 back again. So as you see here, it falls into the lava. I'm counting right now using the grid system. I went too far here, so I'm chopping a couple in. And as you see, when I fast forward a little bit here, oh, I'll show you this here. It's hard to do this because I'm going off of old videos, so I'm assuming that I know what I'm doing here. Yes, so see, if you count here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 blocks there before the Iron Golem falls off. Then you want to place one more just to go up. Right, I'm counting it again just to be sure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this one goes up. But what you want to do is 8. You want to have 8, and then you want to go up. And you want to have 8, and then you want to go up. So basically what you end up with is 8 things of water every time before the water flows down. And you just have 3 of those. So it's 24. The part of the farm that has the Iron Golem spawners on it is exactly 24 front to back. So as you see here, I started to build the outline here. So I have the outline here, it's 8, 8, 8, and then all you have to do is build it out. So you just take it and fill it in, basically. So I'm going here, I'm placing the wood, and I'm going down with it. Let me just show you here. So I got a lot of wood, 8 by 8 by 8. All I'm doing is just filling it in. So this is the first row. Then I'm going up 1 for 8, and I'm filling that in. And then I'll fast forward a little bit, and I go up, and I fill in the next one. Once you have the outline, it's a lot easier to do because all you're doing is filling in the floor. And as I fast forward here, I'm just filling in the floor here, filling in the floor, and then the floor is filled in. So see what you have here is you have 8, 8, 8. You have 8 for the water to fall, and then another 8 for the water to fall, and then the last 8, and then it falls into the lava. And so, you see here, see I just ran, and then on this section where I am right now, where I'm standing here, just so you know for later, this is exactly 18, from floor to ceiling from here is 18 spaces. So when you're going to build the ceiling, you want to count up 18 spaces from here. Once again, you can have a little bit of leeway with this one, so it's okay if it's not exact. But the way I did it was 18 from floor to ceiling was 18 from here. So after you have the floor built, what you want to do is actually build the corners of the profit farm. Or if it's not a profit farm, just a spawner farm, depending on what you're building it for. But what you want to do is start there, you just take some wood, and you want to go up 18 blocks from where you are. Once again, this doesn't have to be exact. This part, you can have some leeway because it doesn't have to be that height. You can fit a bunch of spawners in without having it that high. But what I did is I went up 18 blocks from that corner. I went to each corner, and actually it was 18 blocks from this corner because this is a little bit lower because the water's falling down. So it's 18 blocks from the lowest one up. So it's actually only 16 blocks from the top part because you keep going up. I believe it's 16. You want to make it match whatever it is that you choose to use. And after you have those 4 corners built, you want to just start filling out the ceiling. And so you just start pulling it out here, build some wood, and then I put glass on the ceiling. Once again, you don't have to have glass, you can have wood on the ceiling. I just like to see through it because I thought that was cool. So I went through here, and I filled out the ceiling. And I'll just fast forwarding through all this, skipping through this part of the video. Then after I built the ceiling, I went through and I started building the walls on the outside here. At least a few of the walls. That way, enough so that I could put the water down. I didn't want to have to keep busting the wall to get through to place the spawners. So first I only built enough wall to place the water down. So I just built 1 row along the sides. So I placed that. We'll fast forward a little bit here. And then I got a bunch of water. And I went to the back of the farm first. Oh, I'm sorry. I went to the front of the farm first. I went to the front of the farm first. You could actually do it in either order. I just felt it was easier to start with the front and then go to the back. And I went through each section here and placed one water bucket at each block, starting from the back of each area. So I did this, and there's 31 going across this direction. Then after I placed that, I went up to the next section. See, that's the finished part of that first area. There's 3 areas here. Then I make sure that it works. See, because this is what happens. It should pull the Iron Golem spawners, the Iron Golems, and then the Iron Golems fall into the lava, they die, they fall to that next area, and then they go into the hoppers. But so after that's there, I went back one more area, and then I do it again, and then the second area here, I just go right down the line, I do the exact same thing, 1, 1, 1, I just place 31 buckets of water here. I'm going to fast forward this. Then now you have 2 areas that are filled. As you see, one drops right under the next, and you fall right down here, and then that falls right down again. So then I go back again, I do it on the third one, which I'll show you here. Yep, see, I'm starting to go down it here. Sorry, I skipped ahead too far, but that's okay. I'm doing the same thing I just did on the last 2. I'm just going right down, and this is the front of the farm, actually, if you're looking at it from when you first started. And you place the 31 there, and after they're placed, now you have 3 areas. Anywhere that the Iron Golem now spawns and falls into the water, it will get pushed into the lava, and that's what you want. And now you got the ceiling and you have the floor. The only thing you don't have is the walls all around the edges, but you can do that after. First, what you want to do is place the actual spawners, which is the fun part. So however many you have, what you want to do is you want to place them. Well, what I did is to make light, I placed a glowstone in any spot that I might want to place a spawner in the future. So what I did is I spaced the glowstones out. What you want to do is the optimal spacing is 2 away from each one. So as you see here, I'll fast forward to where I start placing them. I place 1, and then I skip 2 spaces, and then I place another. So it's 3. You count 3 basically. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you place another, and then you go 1, 2, 3. I'm on the ceiling, by the way, right now. I'm looking at the ceiling, and I'm placing these where I'm going to be placing Iron Golem spawners. So I do that, and then you do the same going the other direction. So every Iron Golem column has 2 on either side. You don't have to do that. That's just the most optimal way to allow them to spawn the best way. So I have 1 row going that way, and now I'm going to build another row. I'll skip a little bit here and show you that being done. So I did that. Now I'm doing another row. See, there's another row there now. Everything is 2 spaces between each one. And so I do that all the way through until I eventually have 6. I think I did 6 by 4. No, I did 6 by... I did 6 by 9. So I have 6 and 9 going horizontally across. You can do whatever you want, though. I just did that to give myself a lot of room to have future spawners. But then once you have it, all you have to do is go up here. You get your spawners in your inventory. And see there, you got the 9 by 6. You go up to whatever one you want. I started with the middle because I figured it's best to start with the middle. But they'll all be activated if you stand in the middle. Because you're able to activate, I believe, 16 by 16 all around you. And so I just started placing them there. First I started placing 1 on each one. I eventually grew the columns down so that you have a whole bunch on each column. But you can do it depending on how many Iron Golem spawners you have. You can place it however many you want. You can really, the columns, especially the columns in the middle, you can place really far down, like 10 or 12 down, and they'll all activate. But if you don't have that many spawners, you might as well spread them out instead of having them in one huge column. So that's what I did. So I started spreading them out. I did that until I used all of my spawners up. I had a whole bunch. I don't remember how many I started with. I think I had around 60, maybe, something like that. When I first started, now I have like 320, but when I first did, I had a lot. So I placed those, and then after you place them, all you got to do is build the wall up around the sides, and then you're done. So oh, wait, no. Before you build the walls up around the sides, let me rewind just a tiny bit here. Right before you go to the lava, so this is the part that falls right into the lava, you want to go back 2 blocks from the lava, so 1, 2, and then up 3, and then you place these cobwebs. So see, right before it falls in the lava, you're talking one water block, 2 water blocks, and then up 1, 2, 3. And then you place these cobwebs. You don't need them, But what placing these cobwebs will do will slow down the mobs. And if you're on a server like Arkham Network where the mobs stack, one mob will get stuck in these cobwebs, and then all the other mobs will stack on it, and it makes it so that it will gather a lot of mobs up and make it a lot better as far as the iron traveling through the hoppers. There's certain times where it may be optimal to not have the cobwebs if you have a ton of Iron Golem spawners, but for the most part, unless you have a ton, it makes sense to have the cobwebs there. Cobwebs are expensive though, but you don't need them when you first start. It'll work without them. But once you have them, I would advise doing it. Once again, it's 2 over from the water and then 3 up. That way, because Iron Golems are 3 blocks tall, they'll get stuck in the cobwebs. So after you do that, you just want to build the walls out. And that's a pretty obvious process. You just go through and fill them all out. I'm going to fast forward through this pretty fast because we don't really need to see me building all the walls. You're just building the walls, building the walls. Everything else is already there. The farm is functional. You're just building walls to keep people out. You just keep building the walls, building walls. And I'm fast forwarding to the end here. And then there you go. When all the walls are built, it is fully enclosed Iron Golem farm, which you can use for whatever you like. You can use it for a profit farm. You could just use sell signs if you're on Arkham Network and sell it yourself, or you can just use it for whatever, but it is fully functioning at this point. And as you can see here, this is the final product that I showed you at the beginning. I have the 4 chests down here that I use as a profit shop. 2 of them I use as a profit shop, 2 of them I use for sky sell. And as you can see, these are not notched out like I was saying, because this is what I'm using for the profit shop part and the sky sell part. So those are still on top of each other, and the hoppers are just going straight into them. The others, though, are notched, every other one. So you have the hoppers notched out like that, the chests notched out. It goes then into here. This is the area. I have it covered up right now, but this is the area with the 8 hoppers going backwards into the hoppers that are right above the chests. And they go in there. But as you can see, this is the final product. Fully functioning. I now have a lot more Iron Golem spawners here than I did before, and I make a lot of money from it. So it is fully functioning, and I hope you guys can build it. So guys, I really hope this tutorial helped you out. If it did, it would love if you guys left a comment in the comment section telling me that you were able to build a farm thanks to me. That would be really cool. I also would encourage you guys to check out my other videos, especially if you're new and you're just checking out this tutorial. I have a whole series on Minecraft. I have tons of other videos, and I'm going to be starting new series as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a circle with my picture on it right in the middle of the screen right there. And if you're not already subscribed, if you could click that circle and click subscribe, that would be super awesome. I'm also going to put a video on the corner right there. If you want to watch more of my videos, you can click that video and go to another video that I have, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. And until I post my next video, I'm Bald Guy Ace, reminding you to embrace the baldness.